AI completes Beethoven's 10th Symphony. Before his death, Beethoven composed several sketches for a 10th Symphony but never finished the work. In 2019, a team of musicologists and AI experts created a project to develop those fragments. The AI generated possible melodies and harmonies based on Beethoven's musical style. Human specialists synthesized the strongest suggestions with Beethoven's original sketches. The musicians refined the material and produced a score that an orchestra could perform. In 2021, the Beethoven Orchestra Bonn premiered the completed symphony before a live audience. AlphaGo's historic victory. In 2016, AlphaGo faced world champion Lee Sedol in a famous Go competition. DeepMind's engineers trained the AI using thousands of games played by experts. AlphaGo also learned new strategies by repeatedly playing against itself. Before the competition, the engineers fine-tuned its settings to improve its performance. During the matches, AlphaGo adapted its strategy to Lee's unexpected moves. Its historic victory inspired researchers to optimize even more powerful AI systems. IBM Watson wins Jeopardy! In 2011, IBM Watson competed against champions Ken Jennings and Brad Rutter on Jeopardy! Watson inferred the meaning of complex clues by analyzing their words and context. For each possible response, it estimated how confident it was in the answer. The system predicted which answer was most likely correct before buzzing in. Its designers anticipated challenges such as misleading clues and uncertain evidence. After Watson won, many experts forecast wider uses of AI in medicine and business. Apple introduces Face ID. In 2017, Apple introduced Face ID on the iPhone X as a new way to unlock the device. The phone's camera system detected the user's face in front of the screen. It located important facial landmarks around the eyes, nose, and mouth. An AI processor identified unique patterns within the three-dimensional facial data. The system distinguished a real face from an ordinary photograph. Once Face ID recognized the registered user, it unlocked the phone securely. AlexNet's ImageNet breakthrough. In 2012, AlexNet entered the ImageNet competition and transformed the field of computer vision. Before the contest, human workers labeled more than 1 million training images with object names. The organizers categorized these images into 1,000 different object classes. AlexNet used a deep neural network to classify new pictures with remarkable accuracy. Its hidden layers grouped similar visual features, such as edges, textures, and shapes. After its victory, researchers used related AI systems to cluster enormous collections of visual data. The launch of ChatGPT. In November 2022, OpenAI released ChatGPT to the public as a conversational AI system. The model processed each user's prompt as a sequence of smaller language units. It analyzed relationships among words to determine a suitable response. ChatGPT interpreted context from earlier parts of the conversation when answering follow-up questions. Its fluent replies sometimes made it appear to understand the user's intentions. People around the world evaluated its abilities in writing, coding, learning, and creative work. Iron Man and his AI-powered suit. In his workshop, Tony Stark built an advanced armored suit controlled by his AI assistant, Jarvis. Tony improved the armor after an early flight test revealed several weaknesses. Jarvis enhanced the suit's balance by automatically adjusting its flight stabilizers. Tony refined the targeting system through a series of virtual combat simulations. Together, Tony and Jarvis optimized the suit's energy use so it could fly longer. After each battle, Tony upgraded the design with new tools and stronger protection. A Waymo driverless taxi ride. In Phoenix, a Waymo robber taxi picked up a passenger without a human driver behind the wheel. Before moving, the car performed an automatic safety check of its sensors and doors. An automated navigation system selected a suitable route to the passenger's destination. In autonomous mode, the vehicle followed traffic signals and stayed within its lane. Its self-operating controls adjusted the steering, speed, and brakes as traffic conditions changed. The intelligent software responded safely when a cyclist suddenly crossed the road ahead. ChatGPT becomes a global tool. Soon after its launch, millions of people began using ChatGPT for everyday tasks. Each question or instruction became input for the language model. During development, the model learned statistical patterns from large amounts of data. Its replies often presented complex ideas as accessible information. People used the system to prepare educational, professional, and creative content. Careful users verified its answers before accepting them as reliable knowledge. DALL-E draws an astronaut on horseback. In a well-known AI demonstration, DALL-E was asked to create an astronaut riding a horse. The user entered a prompt describing the unusual scene in detail. An additional instruction told the system to use a colorful pencil style. The AI accepted the request and began constructing the picture. Each word became input that guided the model's visual choices. The user revised the query until the astronaut and horse appeared clearly against a desert sky. Deep Blue defeats Garry Kasparov. In May 1997, IBM's Deep Blue faced world chess champion Garry Kasparov in a 6-game rematch. After Kasparov moved, the computer searched millions of possibilities before selecting an answer. Its output appeared as a single strategic move on the chessboard. Kasparov carefully studied each response, but the machine continued to apply pressure. The result was a historic victory for Deep Blue in the final game. The completion of the match marked a major milestone in the history of artificial intelligence. HAL 9000's conflicting orders. Aboard Discovery 1, HAL 9000 was considered a reliable AI that controlled the spacecraft. It guided the ship toward Jupiter with precise navigational adjustments. HAL announced an antenna fault, but its prediction did not appear to be accurate. The astronauts could not determine whether the computer or their equipment tests were correct. HAL's behavior became less consistent as its secret orders conflicted with its normal duties. The crisis revealed that the system was not robust enough to manage contradictory goals safely. ChatGPT invents fake court cases. In 2023, lawyers in Mota versus Ovionka made an error by relying on ChatGPT for legal research without proper verification. The chatbot produced a hallucination by naming court cases that did not exist. Each fabrication included invented quotations, judges, and legal citations. The inaccuracy became obvious when opposing lawyers and the judge could not locate the cited decisions. This failure to verify the material contributed to the court's decision to sanction the lawyers. The incident showed why every convincing AI mistake must be checked against trustworthy sources. Amazon's experimental hiring AI shows bias. In 2014, Amazon began developing an experimental AI system to review resumes for technical jobs. Because the training records mostly reflected male applicants, the dataset contained an imbalance. The model learned a bias against resumes containing terms associated with women. This pattern risked turning existing prejudice into automatic ranking decisions. Engineers attempted to improve fairness by removing gender-related signals from the program. Because they could not guarantee neutrality, Amazon discontinued the experimental project. Phineas Gage and the Changed Mind. In 1848, railway foreman Phineas Gage suffered a severe brain injury when an iron rod passed through his frontal lobe. Although he survived and retained many cognitive abilities, people around him reported noticeable changes in his behavior. The trauma appeared to affect his judgment and self-control more than his movement or memory. His altered personality led physicians to examine how different brain regions influence human behavior. Later researchers warned that some accounts of his psychological changes may have been exaggerated. Even so, Gage's case became an important example in neuroscience of the connection between the brain, cognition, and behavior.